Omega. That's it.
That's perfect. Keep it short, simple.
Yeah.
I like it. Welcome back to the Star Wars Guys podcast.
Hello
We're your
there.
hosts, as always. I am Mike. This is Nate.
Hello there.
And you know him well.
Uncle.
Rekka. I was gonna say, which of the,
And you know him well. Tech.
you know him well?
Tick.
Not Crosshair.
That's true.
Ooh.
Right.
We'll get into it.
Crosshair.
Yeah, welcome back to the podcast. We are excited to talk about
Avatar.
Batch.
Oh, yeah, Bad Batch.
We will
Sorry.
talk about
Yeah.
Avatar
I
first.
said Avatar.
Uh,
I was on the.
This is the
Excited to
Avatar,
talk that too.
the Avatar Wizard of Oz, Star Wars
Avatar
Guys
loving
podcast.
Wizard of Oz bashing Bad Batch episode of the Star Wars Guys podcast.
Bad Badge premiere.
We will go out on a limb to defend Kathleen Kennedy. We will go out on a limb to burn Wizard of Oz.
I'm melting. No.
Why is there water here? Who put that over here?
Superman does not sleep on his bedside table. There is not kryptonite next to the bed.
Superman's like crud.
Yeah.
I forgot to
This
take
is
that
not
out.
Good. Who brought that in? I thought
That's
we were
so
frisking
great.
people these days. We're gonna get it. We're gonna check it out.
A
But
metal
no, we are
detector.
excited to talk about the first two episodes, the
Yeah.
premiere, 2-episode premiere
Yeah.
of Bad Batch season 2. It's been a while since Bad Batch was out, about a year and a half, I believe, and I'm glad it's back. We're gonna dive right into it. But Nate, say something Star Wars related first before we get into it.
Omega.
There it is. Uncle, say
That's all I
something
got the
Star
whole
Wars
time.
related before we
It's
get
like
into it.
Groot, but it's like Groot, but all I can say is Omega.
You know what's funny?
I am Omega.
I actually prepared an outline because I asked ChatGPT to give us our
Oh,
give us our podcast script.
We'll have
So
to do a,
I'm going to send it to you. We're just going to read it from
This is
whatever
perfect.
it says
Yeah.
to
Yep,
do.
I like
Yeah.
it.
No,
I
actually,
like
I
it.
did look up. Give me 10 things to talk about from Star Wars, and it gave me a bunch of good stuff.
Ooh,
I love it.
So
We're gonna have to do a full episode one day of just Star Wars Chat GPT.
here's
Yeah,
what we'll do.
I like that.
I can
That's a great
share
idea.
my movie script.
Right,
We can share our short stories, our
we could
new force
do
abilities it came up
Yeah.
with.
absolutely, or any question they ask funnels through us right to ChatGPT, and it gives us the answer,
Gives us the answer.
like
and we
it.
tell them.
and we could just
wait. Is this Chad GPT?
Chat GPT. I like it.
I like
Yeah.
it.
I like it. But Bad Batch season 2 premiere. The first 2 episodes.
Oh yeah.
Overall thoughts. We usually start like this. Overall thoughts. We'll combine both episodes. So overall thoughts. What do you guys think?
it was a little culture shock at first. Culture shock meaning we've been watching live action,
Yeah.
and the pacing of Andor,
Yes.
Oh my
stark
God.
contrast. Like
This is the complete opposite.
there's like we're just crabs chasing people, flying through the air,
That
blasters,
the
the
crab
ships jumping. It was
The
like,
crab episode would be two episodes of the 3-episode arc in Andor.
Yeah,
exactly.
Would be first the crabs.
There'd be 2 episodes
And
before we even started.
half
we'd
of it
get a
they'd be
little bit-
talking to the crabs.
It'd be talking to the crab. They'd be preparing of hey. We're going into
That's right.
this would already be post mission. We're hiding out from the crabs. We get a little bit of a glimpse of the crabs talking.
and
they're
then
going,
we sneak in and steal the
And they're
crab's
talking.
manifesto.
This was season
I like
1
it.
of Andor.
This
First
was season
episode.
one.
It was like
It was
that's
the whole
how far
season.
we got.
This is
I
great.
actually
I loved
liked
it. It was
It was
refreshing.
awesome. Yeah,
the
I love
crab
it.
intro
Loved it.
scene. Before I actually turned it on and watched it, I thought from the trailer, I was like, I wonder if that's gonna be the very first scene we see, because it
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
even
yeah.
in the trailer
Right.
it was the first scene, but it felt like boom, you're back into the show.
Yeah.
I got
And
the package, didn't I?
Yeah.
That was right from the trailer. They're like, very first line.
Must
too.
be doing our studies.
Tech. Why is Omega out of the?
I know.
Why is Omega hanging from the ship?
Great.
Yeah.
That was great.
The pacing,
I love
though,
it.
it,
Pacing,
it-
yeah, big time.
Fast.
I've loved that. It's quick. It's fast.
It was constant action.
Yeah.
Action.
I was nervous.
I know.
I'm nervous because I know that at any moment anyone could.
I actually.
That's
We're
exciting.
thinking
That is
somebody
exciting.
could die. Like,
we'll get
we're
into it, but I
"What?"
actually there was a
Yeah.
moment I thought for
they're
a
gonna
second,
send him off.
could this character actually die?
Me
And
too.
I know,
That's how
he's-
they-
and I
that's
know
how they start.
exactly.
Me too.
I know exactly who he was talking about. Did you say you want to get into it now?
What?
There was a
Who's-
couple. I
Well,
thought
there's a
of it
couple. I
few
thought maybe you thought
times.
Tech was gonna die.
I thought Tech might.
I
Yeah.
did too.
When the
I
crate
didn't get as
landed
far
on him.
as like, he's dead, because I didn't know if they would do that.
Yeah.
But I did.
But I did think it was a
there-
possibility.
It's a team. And
Yeah.
at some point in a lot of team movies, shows, you end up losing.
I think
losing
these
a
are
guy.
teen
right.
movies.
Teen
In
movies.
a lot of teen
Teen,
movies,
you
you
know,
lose
18,
someone.
Somebody
18.
dies. They go to the
Bad
shed with the
Batch.
chainsaws.
Part of what makes some of those missions and stuff so worth, I don't want to say worthwhile, but makes it so like for the story to evolve and kind of where they went from. you'll have those characters that pass or they go on
Right.
in the mission, and then making it worth it is like, how do you move on from there? So
Right?
Star Wars animated shows have not shied away,
No.
maybe more than live
No, I
action
know.
shows, have not shied away from killing even some of the major casts.
yeah,
I know you reshared on your Twitter page. Spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen Star Wars Rebels. You reshared one of your scenes of one of your favorite Jedi of all time from Star
Yeah.
Wars Rebel, Kanan
Yeah.
Jarrus.
yeah.
We love him.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
Main
that everyone's safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Doesn't mean everybody's safe.
in this, especially because one exciting thing about Bad Batch, similar to I think what's exciting about the era we are in Mando, is that with these new cast of characters and not being really boxed in, even though we do know some things that happen galaxy-wise, what
Mhm.
happens ahead of later in Bad Batch, we have no idea where these
Yeah,
characters
it's
are
all
later on.
open
We don't know
ended.
what happens to Omega. We've never seen her old. We've never seen any of these main characters older than they are
Right.
in these episodes. So because of that,
Yeah.
anyone,
Could be.
everyone's at risk, and other than Tarkin, who they mention, who they didn't show, you're like, well, we know when Tarkin bites it.
Right.
Everyone else, you're like, it's anyone's up for grabs.
That's true.
No one's safe.
That's true.
Yeah. But overall thoughts, you loved the pace. The pace was
Love the pace.
yeah.
yeah.
That's
I
great.
really
Love
liked
the
that
pace.
change of pace.
Picked it up, and the second episode was like, it could have gone either way at any moment. Like, okay, they're gonna die. No, they're not gonna die. And they
Yeah.
get trapped, and then they can't get out. And it's really breaks his leg. I mean, it's really good.
I also
breaks breaks his leg, and that was when I first started. Oh, I wonder if this is leading us in.
Yeah.
You know.
I also love
A
how
soft blow on us watching that
Right.
he's going out. But
I love that this show, similar to its predecessor to the Clone Wars, sometimes they'll start with a kind of contained mission, and then all of a sudden now they're mentioning that Dooku is dead, and we're going to Dooku's
I know,
palace,
I
to
love
his
it.
place.
I
And I'm
love
like, oh, now like. I always love it. Not that every single show or I think Andor did it great, where not every show needs Darth Vader in it or needs this
Right.
character, but you love the ties of. I love in Andor that they mentioned Ian McDermott's not there, but they mentioned, the Emperor will be upset about this. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, this brings
It's
us
right
back
there.
into
yeah,
the
because
bigger thing.
there's an element there is an element of cameos and forcing certain characters maybe in situations as opposed to what makes sense to the story.
Mhm.
And if Palpatine is the Emperor and he is the political, he is the face
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the Empire, the average person's going to know. Everybody's going to know who the Emperor is,
Mhm.
who Palpatine is. So it makes sense that the politicians would be, discussing his name out loud and in front of each other and things. So, but you are right. When we heard that in Andor, I remember thinking, ooh, like they're
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
him and they learn from him. And the same thing with this. You kind of get the ties with Dooku. You're like, and then you kind of figure out all the stuff about the spoils of the war and
Spoils of War, Ruins of
Yeah.
War, the name of the
Yeah.
episodes.
yeah.
I had no idea how wealthy he was.
I
I know,
know.
I didn't either.
But
Wow.
I like that it actually adds like a deeper aspect of how turned he was.
Mhm.
Because there was always an element of Dooku that was like they showed a little bit of his reasoning of how he didn't agree with some of the stuff the Jedi did and how
Mhm.
he tells Obi-Wan that I'm not sure Qui-Gon would have done the same thing, like maybe he would have come with me, like those
Yep.
types of things. So there is a sort of like part of him that they try to make sense as to why he would go this route.
Mhm.
But then you get a reminder of like, no, he got to the point where the dark side fully corrupted him, just like every other Sith we've seen.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that he became a Sith to try and get this agenda of his own. He fully
He took advantage of his own
started
planet.
taking
That's what they were
advantage of his
talking
own
about.
planet. He started doing this. So I like that they're actually showing you and reminding you that there isn't a gray line. There's not a line you can walk on the light and the dark.
I
It's
just had a thought about something. Who's the creator of Tales of the Jedi? Who did that?
Wasn't that Filoni?
Filoni. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, Bad Batch is Filoni.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have this. We have the couple episodes where Dooku. We feel like we're giving some.
Yeah.
Feel like we're
Yep.
becoming sympathetic a little
Right.
bit.
Right.
And now we come to this, and we just turn him back to this vile,
Yeah.
evil, selfish
Yeah.
guy. I don't know.
And it's interesting
Yeah.
because
Just
so
switched it back off. Okay, yeah, no.
this
There's
is
nothing
Don't
good
feel
about
too
him.
So
good.
this
Don't
is
feel
what-
too sorry for him. 'Cause
Right.
let's remember what he actually ends up doing.
Exactly.
well, and so
He
this is
goes
a good
pretty
point
far.
too because this morning when I watched the the show this morning, I watched these 2 episodes, and I was on a Dooku kick, and I immediately put on Tales of the Jedi.
Yaddle?
What's this? It's
Episode?
called something Sith. The Sith, or maybe
Yeah.
it might be called the Sith. But yeah, the episode where Qui-Gon dies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dooku takes it. You can tell he's emotional about it. And even in that episode, though, I think they do a great reminder of he's betrayed everything he's stood for. He even says that himself. And then at the end, the brutality of just come with me and all this, and then and strikes her down. He's like, all of these. He has had things that have happened to him that Dooku's one of. It's funny because I do think because of the Clone Wars, and I think it's something that as the Clone Wars and Tales of the Jedi, and now even Bad Batch is not as much Dooku, but they're talking about some stuff surrounding him. I do think he's a way more fascinating character.
Oh, yeah.
And I find myself more interested in Dooku than I ever was before.
Actually, it gives off a more. I see him a lot more in line with Anakin now. We saw a ton of the troubles that Anakin went through that caused him to kind of slightly gear towards the path of his, inevitable turn to Vader. And now with getting some of these stories with Dooku, and now even more in this, premiere with Bad Batch, getting more information, they're almost doing this similar thing of fleshing out the character the way they did for Anakin, showing you the both sides between Tales of the Jedi and Bad Batch.
Yeah, and I love though that it's two things can be true at the same time. That one, Dooku is not Palpatine, or did not Palpatine, for all we know, is about as pure evil as evil gets. Where Palpatine wasn't a light Jedi who then had some hardships or some things that happened, some bad breaks that he took one step over, then one step over, then one step over.
Luke never did say he sensed any good in him.
No, and but and Qui-Gon has had things go not his way, and I've read recently. I read the Apprentice. The Apprentice. The book, it's Obi-Wan. It's Master and Apprentice and Brotherhood were the two. Yeah, so it was Master and Apprentice I was reading before Obi-Wan, and then it was Brotherhood, which was Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yep.
But in Master and Apprentice, they talk a lot about Qui-Gon and Dooku's relationship, and about how it's Dooku who is fascinated with the prophecy and all these prophecies, and he's the one who actually taught Qui-Gon, and that's why Qui-Gon got obsessed with it. And they have this clashing of those two clashing, and then even when he leaves the Order, Qui-Gon, there's a little bit of Qui-Gon understanding that he's frustrated with the Order. Qui-Gon's frustrated as well. That's why he's later. Qui-Gon's not on the council, even when he's offered a position, and all of these different things that happen. And yet they make different decisions in the end that send them down different paths. And that's what I really loved. And again, I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but when you see, this all comes back to Bad Batch, where this is a good reminder of, oh, yes, he did all of these things, yet you want to know again why Qui-Gon would never have been that? Is because Qui-Gon, again, he wished he could have done even more on Tatooine at the time, but he freed Anakin from slave and tried to free his mother as well, and it didn't work in that instance. But Dooku is literally taking advantage of his home planet, become rich. He has all these credits, all this stuff. He's literally profiting from the war.
Yeah,
and he's not just
the war that he's propagating.
That he's exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like at that point it's like rotten to the core.
Right.
That you've gotten that far, and again, obviously he's dead at this point in the story. But yeah, I just love the way this tied into Tales of the Jedi, tied into some of the other stories that we've heard, and then also how it's still focused though on these characters, because I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen with Omega.
Yeah.
Sid's still around going, I got a job for you. There's some payoff your debt infinitely. I just think it's
you
funny.
can buy your freedom.
You can buy everything you want.
You have that.
Yeah. But
I think
I love it. I love it.
One thing I find that's interesting is some of the we get a little bit of contrast in characters with Echo and Hunter, and even Echo's conversation with Tech about Echo. They're showing that he feels like they're not doing nearly enough.
Yeah.
That even though they're going around doing these missions for themselves to try and get by and do these things while still trying to get back at the Empire. Echo is kind of looking at the big scope and saying the Empire is still rising and it's still just growing stronger and stronger and stronger. You see him speaking up, saying like, we need to do more, which I think, is the reason they're throwing that into this the premiere episodes is because that might be a direction that they're heading towards for the rest of the season. Of this is going to it's the Bad Batch, but it's going to grow into them having a much larger scale.
Yeah.
On the Empire as a whole, and what maybe they do or what they accomplish. And maybe it's stuff that we don't even see or hear about because we didn't see it in the movies. So it's stuff that maybe they end up doing that is kind of one of those like things that they did really well and no one's ever going to hear the tale type thing, So, but I like seeing some of the one thing I love about the Bad Batch is you have these clones and yet they are taking each character and making them so different.
Yeah.
And now, and it's not just physical and not just different in a sense that one's, tech savvy and one can hunt and can sense and pick up tracks and one's strong. Like not their physical fighting style, but actually now they're diving into more of the thought process as well. They're not they don't all just think alike. They're thinking about what more can we do, and some are thinking we need to Omega is all that matters. And so I don't know. Interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out.
It was cool because it was a failed mission.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Failed.
Yeah.
Did anyone else?
Omega fought hard for it.
Right.
Uncle would probably even get this. I mean, you would get this reference as well, but Uncle is a big. Did you feel any a little Last Crusade?
Oh, yeah.
Dad, I can reach it.
Right.
I can reach it.
I can almost reach it. It's right there.
Junior.
Grab my hand.
Grab my hand, Junior. Because
right.
he kept going back for it, and she's like, I can get it. Leave it. Let's go.
That was a great move in that movie where she's reaching and he's like, come on, Elsa, let it go. And then he's there. I can get it.
And then he can do it too. Wait, I can.
Junior.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it definitely, it definitely felt that way.
I just, again, it's after the show has been off for a while and we've had a lot of different, it's really been a lot of different live action shows in between.
Yeah.
We had Book of Boba Fett. We've had, since the last one, was Mando season 2 after Bad Batch? Do we know? I'm trying to remember. Or was, because we definitely had Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, and Andor. I don't remember if around the same time, which was first.
Before Mando 2.
Because
like it was.
Yeah, I remember us talking about the connections between the cloning and Bad Batch and the cloning and Mando and wondering how they would connect to each other or anything.
Was there an overlap in there?
I don't remember. But all that to say, it is nice, like you were talking about, kind of a refreshing change of pace of I love Andor, love Obi-Wan, loved what was going on with Book of Boba Fett, and obviously Mando's coming back very soon. But it is nice to all of a sudden get this quick boom, we're on this planet, boom, we're on this. We're not as concerned about some of the specific logistics. It's a lot of what is the message they're trying to send, what are the what is their mission, what's their purpose as they're continuing to find out, like, what do we do? I like that they're directly saying that. What do we do now? And I do still think it starts here, and I think it's getting bigger, where I think that there's big plans for Omega. I think that there is I loved the Imperial officer. I just had to look up his name. Rampart, I think is his name. Well, we can't let Tarkin find out about this.
I'll tell him.
I'll never tell him.
I'll write it.
Just turns around and boom, shoots him and shoots him falling off the thing.
Off the
That was a good
cliff.
shot.
I love I just love again, it kind of ties into Andor as well, but I love the greedy, self-serving, hungry, climb up the ladder, survive at all costs.
Exactly.
Imperial officers, because those are the ones who would survive.
Yeah.
They're not the ones who
That's
are
how
just.
you get there.
They're not just yes sir, do whatever. It's also yes
Yeah.
sir, and then also when you turn around, I'm stabbing this person in the back because they're a threat to me. So
Petra.
I love it.
It also did show too that the clones, even though they're with the Empire now, still had some moral, like,
They do.
chain of command code.
That's
like
right.
he's like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not doing
He was
it.
like, I'm not gonna lie about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
I think that potentially we have. Well, we already established that that they're not their ability to take new jobs is going to be diminished. We've got that foreshadowing. The Empire's
Yeah,
closing
Yep.
in.
Yeah.
And I think it's possible that this second episode, they're now deciding we need to be about something more than. It seems like
I think so.
we
So
need
it
to be
felt
about
like-
something more than money, more than credits.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need to do something meaningful. We had this whole story of this guy, and Tech is listening to this thing, and it's sinking in, and
Yeah.
Omega has now bought into the whole. We got to get the credits, and they're bringing her
Yeah.
back from that.
Mhm.
And this pursuit of this money thing almost got them all killed.
And didn't it feel
Yeah.
like the
For
way
what?
Sid was talking to them?
For
It
fortune?
almost
Didn't it kind of seem like when Sid was talking about it too, like us as an audience goes, "Oh, so this is the last job."
That's
Doesn't
exactly
it
right.
feel like she's
Yeah.
like,
Feels like
if you
it.
do this, this is take care, and it
This
kind
is
of feels
it.
like this is the end of this trajectory or the end of this
Yeah.
path they were
It-
on. Because after this, what happens?
Yep.
They almost die. Tech looks like he's gonna die. These-
Right.
Yeah.
And they literally are hanging off of a cliff multiple times, and it
Yeah.
feels like, what's this all
They're
been for?
feeling the pain of this
Yeah.
man
It's
who's
like
Yeah.
you're saying. It feels
I
like
agree.
it feels like all they're doing is become a projection on Omega.
Mhm.
Like this whole mercenary do the job is now because she's been raised in it.
yeah,
It's a projection onto her, and now they're seeing that play out through her, and now they're almost like, "What are we doing?"
right.
Like they're
Is
seeing
this who we want her to
they're
be?
seeing her, and they're recognizing this is what we've taught her.
Yeah,
That this is all that matters. And it's like, no, this is like, what are we doing? We need to have a bigger purpose.
I think they're going to become a seed of a rebellion. That's
yeah.
they're going to be
Yeah.
they're going to start causing just turmoil within the empire. They'll make enough to survive, but they're going to. I think it feels like they're going to be moving into let's create chaos for the empire.
Yep.
What's interesting is we've never seen in Andor. We see a lot of spying on behalf of the rebellion and the starting of the rebellion. We've
Right.
never seen a ton of a rebel special forces team
Exactly.
that's like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is our ace in the hole of like, yeah,
This
we
is
need
our
we
this
need
is our SEAL Team 6.
this is our
That's right.
elite team to go
Yeah.
get stuff done because it's
Yeah,
usually been
it's our
this,
A team.
again, the kind of nature of the rebellion is kind
Yep.
of ragtag. We're piecing together.
people
We
together,
have just
yeah.
enough weapons to try to survive and stuff, but
now
actually
they got these super
having some weapons on their side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be interesting. It'd be
Knock out
interesting
a
to see that.
base.
I also think going back to the scene with Echo and Omega reaching down for
Yeah.
her, I also love that it was Echo. Because in the first season, we obviously saw the first connection right off the bat was Hunter and Omega.
Yeah.
And if that was Hunter in that scene, she wouldn't have thought twice. She'd be like, oh, Hunter said, let's go. I'm trusting him. Let's
That's
get out."
right. That's right.
And then we see towards kind of the second half of that first season, her relationship grow with Wrecker.
mm-hmm.
He gives her the the stuffed animal
That's
thing,
right.
and you
Yep,
kind of
yep.
see that relationship develop. And Echo,
Now Filoni took
seems
those
like-
two off and said,
yeah,
no, no,
Yep.
he put
Tech
them
and
in a
Echo are
different
gonna be with her.
scenario
Mhm.
through Echo and Tech, probably the two that have had the least relationship building with Omega that we've seen.
Yeah.
Right after her overhearing Echo talk about everything we've done is because of her,
Mm-hmm.
and now pulls them in on this thing and gave Echo an opportunity to not only be reminded like what are we doing, this is why we need to do something bigger,
Yep.
but also to remind Omega that this doesn't matter, like we did make it was almost a reminder for himself, but also him verbally telling
Mm-hmm.
when he tells Omega at the end, like, we made the right choice. It wasn't him just always believing that and then telling it. It seemed like all of this kind of got to the point where he was reminding himself of that too.
Yeah.
Of like thinking back, like, we saved you, like
Mhm.
we took you in. That is what's making a difference. Doing things like that.
Yeah.
That's why we made the right choice. Going around and taking these jobs and doing this stuff, getting credits, that's nothing.
It seems beneath them. They're
Yeah.
they're better than just getting credits.
Yeah.
They could do something more.
Yeah.
The Crosshair.
Yeah.
No mention, no
Nothing.
Right? Nothing of Crosshair.
We didn't even see him.
That surprised me a
I
little
know.
bit. It's actually something I didn't notice until after
Right.
because I just kept thinking, oh, they're gonna.
It's gonna be
This
in.
Do you
this,
think
and then
we'll
all of a sudden
ever
and-
see them together again? Like, do you think we'll ever
Do I
see
think like he'll
Crosshair
turn
ever
back?
Yeah.
I think they flirted with that last season, and I don't.
I think they can.
I mean, I
yeah.
think it's possible, but he made it a point at
It's
the
like my
end
chip
of
got
at the
taken
end
out.
of season
Yeah.
one. My chip got taken out, and I'm more devoted than ever.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this is
think
where we
so.
part ways, brother.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
essentially, they're like, well, we don't want to kill you. We could kill you right now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to kill
Yeah.
someone we considered a friend, but also we understand that from now on we're not on the same side. And it was
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
one of those like,
Yep.
it's one of those like Western
Which is
things
so
of like, I'll hunt you
unfortunate 'cause I love
tomorrow. It's like one of
Crosshair.
those type of things.
That's
Like
right.
you get a
I
head
loved it.
start, and then I'm coming after you.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree.
But
I agree.
I just thought that stood out as no crosshair.
Did you guys notice? And I teased it in our title. Did you notice the
Don't tease our title. That's not nice.
the
Title
helmet?
teaser.
It's
Did
a
you
great
notice- did you
title. It's
notice
a
the
great
helmet?
title.
The helmet in Sid's place,
I did.
hanging on the wall.
Is it in there?
You talking about Vader's helmet? No, I'm just
No,
kidding.
no,
I'm just- no, what helmet?
Boba Fett prototype, the white
one
the
from the
white Boba Fett
pre-Empire.
prototype
Yeah.
hanging on the helmet when
Wow.
Wrecker she says, put yourself to use or see how much you can lift, basically carry this thing out.
I did
Right
not
behind him
catch
on
it.
the wall, Boba Fett white prototype Mandalorian helmet right there.
I didn't see it.
And
I
I
would
thought, as soon as I
love
saw it,
it.
I thought that's prototype helmet.
Yeah.
And then it made me think, nothing they do isn't
Right.
not intentional. It's obvious, they do these things intentionally.
Yeah.
And people have been joking. We've joked about it on here. Omega, Alpha, and then they throw Boba Fett's
Gotta
helmet
come
in
together.
here.
Yeah.
Made me
Why
think like
couldn't-
they're intentionally teasing this. They're
Why
playing off all the
couldn't-
speculation.
They're
I would love it
definitely
if they
playing it up.
if they actually had if Boba Fett had that white outfit first.
That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
cool.
Like
That'd
actually
be a cool way to have
actually
it.
did it.
Yeah,
We just never the Boba Fett we saw had the other,
it was
Yeah.
just.
but he actually
changed.
had the white one first.
Yeah.
But
He
I
tried
realized
to make his
this
own.
is not
and then-
practical.
I was.
I
yeah.
stand
not
out like a
practical.
sore thumb.
Yeah. I'd rather wear my.
can't
I'd
do
rather
this.
On
wear
a
my
green
dad's
planet
We're not
one.
on
wearing
Hoth.
white.
We're
Yeah.
not on Hoth. What are
Can't
we
wear
doing?
white after Labor Day. What's wrong with me?
No, but it made
That's
me
probably what
think
went
It's
into
his
it.
summer.
for a second. Now
Yeah.
I don't think this is actually going to happen, but
Right
imagine
after Labor Day.
if Omega ended up getting the white as Omega. We have Boba Fett as
Wow.
Alpha, and Omega ends up getting all the
Oh,
armor
man,
for
Omega Fett.
the white bounty hunter,
Omega Fett. I like that.
the white Mando.
She has to
prototype.
take Django's last name.
Yeah.
Omega Fett. What
They
if
get
all of the
buried.
clones last?
How does that?
My name is CT34 Fett. They all have their last name is Fett. I like it. They're all named Fett.
And as a group, Clone Force 99 Fett.
Crosshair Fett.
Fett. The name's Fett. Crosshair Fett.
Wrecker Fett.
But no, I thought that was interesting that they'd have that hanging on the wall. There. It
That's
made me
cool. I
think.
gotta go
was like,
back
oh,
and
they're
watch
intentionally
it
playing
again.
off of all the speculation of
it
Omega
is.
ever meeting Alpha,
Yeah.
aka Boba Fett.
The
love
one
it.
parade.
Do you think they'll
I
ever?
love it.
They'll ever
California before?
Yeah, exactly.
No, they had that one promo.
The one
thing.
thing,
That was
yeah.
it. It was
yeah,
just-
the when he was walking the streets before
Yeah.
anybody knew the character.
I think they had, or they had it just. I think they did a promo when he was wearing the white thing.
It's
Man,
Yeah,
do you have the it's right here?
I got it. Prototype right
Prototype?
here.
is that it?
Yeah.
Prototype.
We giving that one away?
Boba Fett prototype.
Ooh, I don't know.
No,
if
I'm
we
just
can do
kidding.
that.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, we have that very rare thing we talked about. Let's
Remember
give it
that
away.
very rare Funko Pop we talked
Proto
about?
Fett.
Proto Fett.
Proto Fett.
Proto Fett.
It says Boba Fett prototype,
Man,
all white right here. Yeah, pretty sweet.
Man. The where do we think do we have any predictions? Anything we can even as far as where we think it's going, other than we think that they have a bigger purpose. They're going kind of maybe away from the mission of just trying to get supplies and resources, unless it's like get supplies, resources to help. Maybe it's to help a planet. Maybe it's to
Yeah.
help, but it's a little bit more less mercenary work.
No,
more,
because
I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like in the first season they kind of teased this this kind of agenda for them to want to save their brothers, like the clones, because they've realized the chip thing and they didn't
Yep.
want to just like they know that they're not making the decisions that they were being
Yeah.
forced to.
Yeah.
But now I feel like they've kind of just that's not the direction they're going.
Mm-mm.
Like in this one, they're totally fighting and Wrecker's blowing them up and shooting them down. So
Wrecker's blowing them up.
so-
I got the package,
I
didn't
know.
I? that should have been our quote next time.
We can end with that.
Yeah.
Well, I
But
think
don't know.
now we know everybody's been told they're dead.
Yeah.
So the search for Omega is not
True.
going on anymore.
True.
True.
So that element is potentially done for now.
That was a big reveal. Yeah.
It was kind of
that's-
that they're not.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're dead.
I said that'd be impossible because
So,
that would be our report is accurate.
So they have a great opportunity. They don't know that everybody thinks they're dead.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I think that if it ever comes out that they're alive, that hunt will resume for Omega.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
So Crosshair thinks they're deceased. Oh no, he knows
He knows.
because he saw him after, right
Yeah,
after.
He saw him.
True. Yep. He saw him.
Do you think we'll get any? Do you think Omega do you think there's any deeper, I guess, like meaning or purpose to her character in any way that she's special for like just being the last?
I mean, it's interesting that
Clone.
the Kaminoans did not want her to fall into the wrong hands.
Right.
Some people hiring people to kill her, and then the other Kaminoans hiring
No. So
Fennec
do you
to save
think
her.
we'll find out some more of that information in this season?
I think so.
think
I
so,
really
too.
think I think the connection with Boba Fett will happen.
In this season, or it just
I don't know if they're
eventually?
gonna.
Maybe
By the
this
way, I
season.
don't know if they're doing more seasons after this.
Yeah, they might not.
I think I had initially heard, going back a couple years ago, that I think that they had announced initially
Like
that it would
2
be at least 2 seasons,
Yeah.
but they didn't say that it would be like the next Clone Wars, like they'd be
Yeah.
going on and on
Yeah.
and on. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think we could get maybe Boba Fett. At
I
some
think we could
point.
too.
Because he's
Uh,
out. He's at this point. Is
Yep.
he already past the point where he's hunting for Mace? Because he's a little bit older than Omega.
He's
right?
a little older.
So there's a whole Boba Fett story in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't.
True, because we never saw Boba in. So think of the difference. Boba is about maybe Omega's age now, is what Boba was in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then there's a 10-year, or there's a 5-year. How much is it from the Clone Wars?
Yeah, I don't know where we're
We
at.
figured out they're
age,
like
yeah.
4
Yeah.
or 5 years older, right? He's,
Yes. Yeah.
Something like
I think
that,
it's. I think it's like that much older.
So I also don't know how much time passed between this season and last season. She's obviously older, but I don't
Yeah,
know how long it's
we
been.
don't know.
But yeah, it makes me. And then I know we get Genji. Is that how you
Mhm.
pronounce it? The Wookiee Jedi?
Yeah. What's his name? Gungi.
Gungi.
I think maybe. it's
Gungi?
I don't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
I wonder
Um,
that's. I mean, I wonder if it's because of. So left to tell the story as the story unfolds. As long as you go, the story's one thing. But if you know it's the last season,
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
they're changing. If they're not going to do it, they're just going to change the story. It's going to be different.
Yeah.
They might not go the direction that they thought Filoni might, because you don't have enough time.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Yeah.
yeah. But
yeah. I wonder if this is total out of nowhere, but I wonder if there'll be, just because he is involved and they got the Wookiee Jedi appearance.
mm,
That one, how do they come across that, or if it's them finding their purpose and seeking out now other maybe Jedi in hiding, almost
Mhm.
trying to combat what they were programmed to do, feeling like we were
Oh.
programmed with the chip to hunt down the
we
Jedi.
can help the Jedi.
Let's do the exact opposite. We
Mhm.
want to get back at the Empire. Let's do exact opposite of
back-
what they
Mhm.
wanted
Let's
us
become
for.
Jedi.
Let's yeah.
Exactly.
No, let's try to maybe seek them out or
Mhm.
wherever we can find them if they do come across them and help.
Yeah,
Help. In
that
any
could
way they
be.
can.
It definitely
could
could be helping anyone who escaped Order 66 or who's on the run.
Yeah,
Like, and so that could be. It could be.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
one moment it could be other clones who have defected or
Mhm.
who have removed their chips, and other times it could be Jedi on the run, Kanan Jarrus, like
Yeah.
Caleb Doom at the time, or anybody like that. You could see some run-ins with. There's no reason. Again, what didn't Bad Batch season 2 or season 1 start with Caleb Doom?
Yeah, Caleb Doom.
That's
Just
right.
saying,
Yeah,
could have
be.
a little run-in.
Could be.
yeah.
Have a little run-in out there. There's Filoni's
We also
not.
got Caleb. We
Filoni's-
also got Caleb Doom in Tales of the Jedi.
Filoni
watching
is not
Ahsoka.
above a little
Right.
Ahsoka either.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
No.
was watching.
Well, it does. Okay, because we were wondering about this too. Rex. Rex is involved, and still at this point, wasn't the last time maybe we saw them together Ahsoka and Rex on the run? Or no, Rex has encountered them since then. But we know that before Bad Batch, Order 66 happens, Ahsoka and Rex go down together. So we know that Rex hasn't just jumped ship and left Ahsoka and come and joined the Bad Batch.
Right.
He's had encounters with them.
That's right.
But it still seems like he's
Still
still doing
out
his
there
own thing.
connected,
He's still
yeah.
out there, probably not by himself. He's
Right.
probably with Ahsoka
Yeah.
or whatever. So it would make sense that any of those characters
Why not?
would make a play. I believe Rex will. I think he's in it. Don't we know that? He's in this season.
I think they showed it in the trailer. I
I think he's
believe.
in. Yeah, they showed it in the trailer.
How can we not? How can we not have Filoni with animated Ahsoka? How can that not
I-
happen?
You have a chance to bring back
got to.
Ashley Eckstein.
You got to.
Yeah.
Anytime you can
I
bring
think
back.
that's
I
a-
think we're
Ashley.
getting Chopper. Who knows how long Chopper's been around?
Chopper. Yeah, get us a little
course.
Chopper
Why
origin
not?
story.
We're gonna find out Chopper was actually Omega's first.
Well, here's honestly here's
And
the
then
hard
after
thing,
her
though.
encounter,
Chopper?
she had an encounter with Hera in the
Chopper.
first season.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Young Hera.
Yeah. Here's the hard thing with Chopper though. Do you spend the money to de-age him, or how do we, or just recast him?
Exactly.
Well, you can't recast.
You
him.
thought it cost a
Filoni.
lot to
Yeah.
do De Niro. Try doing
Yeah.
Chopper.
Filoni's just trying. Filoni's trying to write in Chopper so he can do some more voice work.
Okay, just so you know,
De Niro and Chopper.
Wizard of
what's the
Oz is right
difference?
here.
That's funny.
the Irishman is like right there.
You know, I still haven't seen The
I
Irishman.
thought it
I
was
never watched
terrible.
it
I thought it was
either.
terrible. Sorry.
I still
thought it
haven't
was
seen it.
terrible.
It's,
And
I had heard a lot of people
Goodfellas
that
is
said.
one of my favorite
yeah,
movies.
classic.
Yeah.
I thought The Irishman was awful. 73-year-old De Niro pulling kicks,
Kicks.
kicking a shop owner like,
It's just at what point?
how you not
Pulling
laughing?
It's just at what point are you not physically imposing anymore?
Come on.
Yeah.
It's awful.
It's
Pull up
yeah.
the clip of The Irishman of De Niro beating up the shop owner.
Yeah.
I was like, exit. I'm not watching anymore. I'm not watching anymore. Where's
You
the Wizard of
lost
Oz? We got Wizard of Oz on
That,
here?
all
Wizard of
let me
Oz?
turn Elden
Cue
Ring
that up.
on. Let me turn.
I mean, I don't know.
And then you said,
It
"All
just
right,
felt
Wizard of
weird.
Oz. Oh, what part is this? The bucket of water." Let's go back. I want to see him pull some kicks. Let's do it.
ball, Scarecrow? You want to play ball? How about a little fire, Scarecrow?
And now I'll exit and leave you alone when I can destroy you right now. What? Why didn't you just finish him? He's on fire. You have fire at your fingertips. You could have finished him.
I think
Finish
we.
him.
Dorothy's
You know
in
who- you know who would've
tears.
finished
Tin
him?
Man's
Vader.
melting. They never meet the line. Vader would have.
Vader would have finished him.
I think as we start wrapping up tonight's episode of the podcast, we have to turn. What are other than Star Wars on this Star Wars podcast? What are our two staples? We have a certain opinion about Wizard of Oz, and we have a certain different opinion about a movie that's making some big headlines.
Some
For
big
puck.
bucks.
Make it a big
Big-
splash.
Big splash!
splash.
Ew.
Ooh, hey,
Making
Hooah.
making
Hooah.
way.
Ooh, making
Making
waves.
waves, ooh. And that is, of course, Avatar.
Oh, I
The
thought we were talking
way
about Jaws.
of-
Oh,
shoot.
Jaws.
Jaws was big.
Jaws
That
is
is.
big. First
Yeah.
summer blockbuster.
That's true.
That's it. Jaws. I love it.
Jaws. Yeah,
Wait a
Avatar.
minute, That was
Avatar.
75 years ago. Yeah, that's
Did
the
it
one we're
break
talking
2
about.
billion yet?
I
Did
don't know.
I think it broke Top Gun, which was 1.9 last night.
Top Gun was 1.9.
Man.
I think Top Gun was like 1.4, 1.5.
No, I think
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah.
It's upward. It's upward.
Watch me dig in.
It's closer. It's
Ask,
Top Gun is closer to 2 than it is 1.
Ask Chat
let's put it that way.
GPT.
Wait, no. Top Gun's not the second highest movie of all time.
What?
You said what'd you say?
Top Gun, I believe, was closer to 2 billion than it was 1 billion.
Oh, I thought you were saying closer to number 2 overall than number 1 overall. Gotcha.
no,
Number
no.
2 billion. Are you
Billion with a
sure?
B.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And Avatar passed it. I believe last night it was projected to pass.
Now, I
it.
am not debating that Avatar passed it because Avatar was at a pace.
It also had a higher third weekend than it did a second weekend.
Well, I heard it was a
insane.
zero.
because of the holidays.
Zero.
Yeah, I heard it was a 0% drop.
0% drop.
And again, what Avatar has done really well, and James Cameron has now had 3 of the top. I don't know. I mean, this by the time Avatar's done, he'll have 3. Like by the time Avatar 2's run is done, he'll have had 3 of the top 5 or 6 movies of all time. Will all have been
Yeah.
from him, which is insane.
That is insane.
It's what I was gonna say is the one thing that he's done really well. First of all, is the release date.
Yeah.
Again, it's not all him. It's Disney. It's everybody. But there's nothing competing against it right now. From a big blockbuster standpoint, I do love Glass Onion, which came out again. That came out though Thanksgiving, and then now,
and that was
and
more
then
of
that
a
came out
Netflix
later.
release
It's
than it
different.
was,
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
as
they
far
had
as-
a theatrical release, which we saw.
As far
but-
as holidays,
yeah.
what other movie? And I know there's some other ones out there, but there's nothing that was like, are you going to go see the big Star Wars movie, or are you going to go see this?
you
Are you
gonna
going
go
to see the big
Solo,
Marvel
or are
movie?
you gonna go see Endgame or
I
Infinity
just-
War
Right.
or whatever? It
And
was.
that
My
might have
wife-
just been the footprint. Cameron's
Yeah.
like, I got 2022.
And they've
Y'all
Yeah.
want to steer clear, and they're like, okay, I'm not making any movies.
Yeah.
Who
You've
would
been
have
working
thought?
on this for
Done.
how long?
Who
20 years?
who would have
Movies.
thought? Seriously. Despite the fact that everyone knew that Avatar absolutely crushed it the first time, who would have thought
Got on
That-
a joke in my
that-
head. Go ahead.
that Cameron, who came out with Avatar 13 years ago,
Right.
would then have it took this long, but now he's planned and he's got his act together more than the movie side of Star Wars does, though. As far as
Right.
by the way, you can move the Star Wars stuff around, but it's moving around. I mean, obviously, from a money making standpoint, right now, and
Avatar.
we're as big as Star Wars fans as there is. You're moving around to fit Avatar's schedule right now.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Avatar
right.
is the leader
Yeah.
in the clubhouse as
Yeah.
far as Avatar is just
As far
shown
as
that
anything, I mean,
Avatar just
Avatar's
showed-
making more than any Marvel
Avatar
movie right
just
now.
showed that people are as excited as they were 13 years ago, even though they've seen the technology, except now the technology is even better.
It is better.
But the story is even better. Again, this turned into the Avatar cast, but I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care.
Star
Black
Wars
but yeah,
is
Panther,
way
I just
Wakanda
can't
Forever
believe
was
how-
huge.
yeah.
Everybody was looking forward to this movie. It was a great film. Loved that movie. And,
This is double
and
that.
Avatar made over twice as much.
Yeah.
I think Black Panther made like 800 something million, and Avatar's breaking.
What Avatar
Two-
has
2
going
billion.
for it,
Mhm.
and the first one crushed it on this, is it is one of those movies that because of the nature of what it looks like visually, but now also with, I think, the story personally, and it's an opinion, but I think the story is even better. The second one is
Yeah, I
even
thought the
better
story
than
was
the first one.
better than,
At least
and
I thought each of the
liked-
characters had things to do and individual stories that all
Mhm.
Yeah, I
connect to
love
the
that.
big.
I liked almost even more the direction that the story is setting up.
Yeah.
For the stuff going
Well,
forward.
and what it
Mhm.
does is it literally is the movie, because also visually what it looks like. That's like, yeah, of course I would go see it again. And so it is.
Mhm.
It like
Yeah.
and Cameron counted on, we're gonna make a movie. It's gonna be as expensive as all can be to make it.
It's gonna
Yep.
be long.
It's gonna be very long,
Mm-hmm.
and yet we're gonna find we have the right release date where there's not gonna be anything that's big competing against it. It's gonna be over the holidays where people have more free time. And then it's also going to be something where you're going to be telling your friends about it, and then you're also going to be like, "Oh, you haven't seen that? I want to go with you and go
Mhm.
see it again."
Yep.
Because it's not just it's not just an interesting story where once you find out what happens, you find out the secret. It's like, "Oh, well, now it's spoiled for me," or this or that. It's the whole process
Yeah.
is, and I mean in the best possible way, because I think it can be taken negative sometimes of it feeling like an amusement park ride, but it does feel like an immersive experience.
does.
It
Yeah, it
feels
is.
like an
Anna
experience when
said
you're watching
that. I
the
felt
movie.
like
Yeah.
I'm on a ride.
I saw.
Yeah.
So you guys saw that. And before we wrap up with our Star Wars podcast,
Well, no, we are show the new headline it with the Avatar guys.
Star Wars way of the,
Avatar guys.
No,
Star Wars way of the
you
water.
guys saw that James Cameron
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars, the way of the galaxy.
Let's combine it. Star Wars, The Last Water.
I'm a little disappointed.
The Way of
I'm picturing that phone call. Yeah, okay, we got a release date. Oh, great! I'm so excited. What is it? It's going to be against Avatar. Crap. I spent my whole life building this movie called Babylon, and it's going against Avatar.
Oh my gosh.
Are you serious? I got to compete
Major.
with Avatar?
Yeah,
Babylon.
about that.
Babylon, I believe people are saying is unfortunately a flop of historic proportions. They're talking
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
and it's
Can
I
you do
believe,
the press junkets for that? Yeah. What? You're in Avatar? No, I'm in Babylon. Oh, okay. Coming up
Yeah.
next, we're going to
Coming
talk
up
about
next.
Avatar.
Yeah.
this is
Coming in next, we got Maché.
Awful.
well, and I
we thought
believe
Strange World was the flop of the year.
yeah, I believe Babylon.
B took it to
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
level.
I believe Babylon. Is it Damien Chazelle? I think is the director.
Margot Robbie's in the.
I just
Yeah.
know
I
everybody's
think
in it.
I think
The cast was.
I gotta
insane.
look this up. But
Tobey Maguire, I think.
People don't go see.
oh,
people
Toby's in
anymore.
it, and he
Toby's in it.
whacked out of his
Looks
mind.
psycho.
He looks cool.
Toby comes back after.
I
Spider-Man.
believe
That's
it's Babylon that is Damien Chazelle. Which the only reason I bring that up is it's not like this is an unknown.
No.
This is the guy who did Damien Chazelle. Okay, so Damien Chazelle, just so anybody doesn't this is why this is crazy. It really is crazy how badly it flopped. These are the movies on his credits. First of all, he did Whiplash, which I don't know if you guys have seen Whiplash. Whiplash is one of my favorite movies I've seen in the last 10 years. It's really good. I think that it's J.K. Simmons' best movie I've ever seen him in. He is as a tyrant music director. I think
He's
it's really
amazing.
good. La La Land. He did La La Land.
Oh yeah.
First Man, which got a lot of is it Gosling? Yeah, it's the Gosling going to space. There's a lot of stuff people really liked it.
Yep.
So he's had these movies that none of them have been flops, and almost every one of them have been Academy Award nominated at least. And then all of a sudden, Avatar and Cameron, who have been working on this movie for 13 years, come in and they go, "All right, well we've got your
release date.
I'll take all your
Damien
profits,
Chazelle
I'll
wakes
take
up
all
and goes,
your
"I've got my next
profits,
idea.
The week before.
We'll do this," and all of a sudden they go, "Well, actually, Avatar is gonna Avatar."
It's the week after. What?
You guys heard the story, right, of Matt Damon in Avatar? Did you guys hear that?
Oh, he turned it.
Yeah.
They're talking about it
he turned
again.
It down.
He turned down 10%. Is
10%.
what
Yeah.
Cameron in a recent interview confirmed. He said, he's got to quit beating himself up over that, and they said, "Do you think he could have a cameo in a future Avatar?" He said, "I think we have to, just to put the whole matter to rest. I think it'd be fun." To be clear, he will not be getting 10% of this one. And I remember because it resurfaced again this week of I think he was asked again, and he said he said I essentially it was he said it was a conflict with one of the Bourne movies.
Yeah.
And he had already signed on to the Bourne movies, and it was $230 million they lost.
Yeah.
on that one, on the one movie.
And it wasn't. I mean,
$230 million.
sometimes he made a commitment. He stood by his.
He's like he made a commitment, but it was funny hearing Matt Damon talk about it. He was like, yeah, and it was like he was asked at some junket or something, or he was interviewed, and they're like, "Are there any roles you've missed out on?" and like that, and because he's of the age too that he's like, "Oh, coming up, I lost a lot of these guys are all I lost a ton of roles to DiCaprio." I heard a recent interview where Christian Bale said, Christian Bale's I love Christian Bale's attitude about it too. Christian Bale goes, "Oh, I'm just thankful." And Christian Bale's one of the greatest. He's one of the best actors out there.
Yeah.
Christian Bale said, "I'm just thankful because I know that each of the roles I have is just something that DiCaprio's turned down." and he goes, and I get it. If I can get DiCaprio or me, I'm going for DiCaprio.
That's what Christian Bale says.
So
That's
Matt Damon
awesome.
started this his answer with there's stuff there's things I've missed out to a DiCaprio or these guys who just they're especially at a young age they would clean
They
up
just
and
did
get all these,
everything.
or Christian Bale. He said there is James Cameron, and he called him Jim. Jim Cameron
Jimmy asked
did
me to.
call me and asked me to be an Avatar, and he offered me 10% of Avatar, and everyone goes, and he goes, so yeah, it became the highest grossing movie of all time. it's like
Twice.
Yeah, think of what he'd be making
Yeah.
if that was his deal, and then now he'd be
He's
back.
not getting points on the second one.
He's not
Jim's
getting
like,
points.
No.
We've learned
You can
from
pay
that.
us if you want to be in it.
Because even James Cameron's like,
Yeah.
well, we didn't know it was going to go 2.9 or 3 or whatever it ended up going. But yeah,
It
it's
is
just
crazy how much money that.
yeah. Are we still on the Star Wars podcast?
Yeah. So Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Hey,
Yeah.
also started in water.
It did. A
That's
little
true.
crab element.
I
There's
thought I
some
saw
stuff there.
I thought I saw Jake Sully out there.
They come flying by.
You see, Wrecker pulls out his tail.
They come flying in on the Banshees.
Wrecker pulls out his tail and
Man,
all of a
it's
sudden
awesome.
goes, "Oh, making a connection." He's trying to, with the crab, and they're like,
Wrecker's
"Wrecker,
connecting
stop
with
it."
the crabs.
I got the package, didn't I?
Man.
I love it. I love
There
it.
you have it. The Bad Batch premiere
He doesn't say
teasers.
that.
I'm a wrecker.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Duty.
Wreck-It
Playing a game
Ralph.
called Heroes Duty.
That was wrecker. Yeah.
Felix.
I thought Nate was gonna break into a
annoying.
King Candy.
Fix a Felix Jr., ma'am.
I'm King Candy. Candy. Ooh. Ooh, I'm also known as the Mad Hatter. Ooh. I love Wreck-It Ralph. Why does this turn into a match? Wreck-It Ralph.
What else can we talk about that's not Star Wars?
Man.
All right. Well, this is now the anti-Babylon cast.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, would you? You hit a guy with glasses. Clever.
Oh.
Clever.
Hey, one of the greatest
With glasses. Clever.
one of the greatest movie songs of all time.
Yeah.
Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
It's true. The
Where can they find this?
I love
That's our quote for
this.
end.
Now reminds me of in Arrested Development, Tobias, David Cross, just
Never Nude?
randomly in one of the
Tobias
scenes,
the Never
one of
Nude.
maybe the Never Nude, and one of the scenes, all of a sudden he's just singing and he's like music. He just loves music. Stephanie goes, "Somewhere over the rainbow, there's another rainbow," and it just like, and there's no explanation. It just cuts away from him, and there's no,
That's it.
there's no explanation. They don't even act like it's also Arrested Development. So none of the characters go like, "What's that?" They just cut away from him and they just go
So
to like whatever.
funny.
So great.
Oh god.
Can we talk about the cornballer episode?
Oh please,
Oh,
please.
it's so
please.
good.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have to do that right here, pal?
Yes.
Mom won't let me do it outside.
And Buster, can you not do that on the balcony, buddy?
Can you do that someplace else, pal?
Mom says it's too windy.
Mom says it's
Mom
too
won't
windy.
let me.
And
Yeah, I
Buster,
love that.
can
Buster,
you not
zip me
do
up.
that on the balcony,
Mom,
buddy?
this is getting a little weird.
Zip me up. Well, why don't you just run away, Buster? Maybe I will.
Oh, let's be friends again, Stel.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
These are my awards,
Wizard
Mother.
of Oz,
From Army.
Avatar,
Army
The Irishman,
What are you doing home, Buster? What are you doing home? Army at half a day.
Army at half a day.
18th century agrarian, but
It's
probably
all
the same.
principle.
All the same principles.
Tell me, are you all concerned about an uprising? Oh my goodness, I'm crying over Arrested Development. Nate, where can the people
So
find us?
clearly, the blue part here is the land.
But Buster's.
The blue part was
All right.
land. Well,
That's so good. Oh man, there you have it. Bad
Oh,
Batch
geez. I
review.
don't know if I'm crying over that or the light.
Yeah, if you
That's great.
started the episode right now at the end, make sure to go back and actually watch our
watch
Bad
the Star Wars
Batch
part.
premiere review. We had a Boba Fett prototype teaser,
Yeah.
and I'm excited. I feel like we got some good stuff, but I also am interested to see where it goes. I don't
Oh,
have a
I'm so
definite
excited.
It could go
path on where it's going for this
Anywhere.
season.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
I am.
How many episodes
I'm
do we
excited. 16?
16, I think.
16. All right.
Yeah.
16, and we were sleeping on the 2-episode premiere. Did we even talk about that ahead of time? Did we know that? Maybe they had announced that ahead
They
of time.
did. They announced it.
Oh, they showed the
showed
breakdown. They
yeah.
did.
We
I think I
actually
just
have-
forgot when I turned it on
I
today.
think maybe next month there's another week where they're just going to do 2 episodes. I think just to fit in
Oh,
scheduling.
Okay.
And on one of the weeks coming up, we got another 2 episode.
all right.
You know,
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Anyway, there you have it. Bad Batch, Wizard of
Oh.
Oz, the Irishman,
Put him.
all Avatar,
De Niro.
Arrested Development
Robert
review.
De Niro. Wait, this is the cowardly lion fighting Robert De Niro. Huh? You want to put him up, lion?
Nothing.
All right.
You wanna
I'm 80
go?
years old.
You wanna
I
go?
can still kick you as long as they cut away.
You
from
want to
it.
talk
You
about
cut away pretty
courage,
quick.
huh? You're talking about courage, huh?
With good editing, I can still get in the ring, huh?
Now I know I have a
I love
heart. Because it's breaking.
it's breaking.
It's so
Where
good.
can they find us?
Yeah,
I
well,
love
thanks
it.
for
In the
tuning
land
We'll
of
catch
Oz.
you guys in the next one. If you haven't already, make sure to
Smash.
subscribe.
Smash.
Subscribe. Tell a friend about us here at Star Wars Guys, and smash the notification
Smash.
bell.
What's
We'll catch you guys in the next one, and as always, may the Force be with you.
I got the package, didn't I?
Put him up. Put him up.
Put him on. I'm gonna break your legs, all right, Wrecker? Talking about I'm gonna wreck you, huh? I see
And
you.
Buster, can't you do that?